it do, Dream Team? It's your boy D Neal back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with my 7 German culture shocks as an American. I'm always excited to see what kind of culture shocks people from America have going over to Germany. And sometimes, usually, there's a lot of the same culture shocks, but sometimes there's a different one that you haven't heard of. So I'm intrigued to jump into this. And before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Social media, Patreon, all up top. You can subscribe to any of it. Put all the links in the description. All you gotta do is hit the link, follow me, talk to me. Love talking to you guys. I'm human. I talk back. You guys got a favorite video suggestion? You can subscribe to Patreon or drop it in the comment section. What we got?
I saw this a couple of times before I finally realized what was happening.
Kelly does her
thing. Hey guys,
thing.
what's up? It's Kelly again, and welcome back to my channel. I've talked to you guys before about Misha's culture shocks as a German coming to live in the United States. And while I've referenced some of them throughout my videos, I realized that I've never directly talked to you guys about the culture shocks I've experienced as an American living in Germany. But today is the day I'm finally doing it, and while I could talk a lot about this, and there are so many different culture shocks that I experienced, I'm going to limit myself to only 7. So here are 7 culture shocks that I, as an American, experienced while I was living in Germany. First up is how cheap everything is. I used to think that the cost of living in Germany would be really high because it's Europe. And like a lot of Americans, when I hear the word Europe, I think fancy. Like the adjective European is basically synonymous with the adjective luxury. And while there are some countries in Europe that are objectively expensive, like Switzerland and Norway, aside from the cost of gas and electricity, I personally found the cost of living to be cheaper in Germany than anywhere else that I lived in the US. Everything from food to rent to even cars. I recently came across an article talking about how the rent prices in Berlin have hit record highs and that the government is starting to take action to better control rent prices, which were being inflated by large companies. The record high rent is €10 per square meters. In the city, specifically in the country's capital, where I think you could objectively assume that the rent price will be the highest. My rent in DC is almost 4 times that. I pay €35 per square meter in my apartment, and the thought of paying only $620 in rent per month for my apartment is unfathomable to me.
She said $620 a month? That's a deal. That $620 a month is a steal. Yes. I literally no. $620 in Germany, $620 a month. Yeah, that's cheaper than anywhere I can think of. That's cheaper than anywhere I can think of. The last time I could pay that was when I was in college, and we're talking 5-6 years ago. The prices just keep going up every time I sign a new lease. Up. God, okay. This is her talking.
$20 in rent per month for my apartment is unfathomable to me.
That's crazy.
Now, of course, there are about 100 different factors to consider here, as this difference in rent doesn't exist in a vacuum. Income levels, take-home pay after taxes, and the fact that our apartments in the US come with kitchens are just a few that make it impossible to directly compare the rent of my apartment to the rent of a seemingly comparable apartment a German has in Berlin. But the overarching point is that I was really shocked by what you could call the sticker price for the cost of living in Germany as being so much cheaper than everywhere that I've lived in the US. Number 2. Okay, guys.
I'm like, if it's that cheap, food and rent, I might have to come. Shoot. Besides electricity, I can manage my electricity, but dang.
Cheaper than everywhere that I've lived in the US. Number 2. Okay, guys, I saw this a couple of times before I finally realized what was happening. So I would go out to dinner at a restaurant and there would be other patrons of the restaurant sitting around me in pairs or in groups, and they would be eating their meals. And the first time that I saw this was a group of about, I think it was 8 people, and they suddenly just all got up out of their chairs and vacated the table together at the same exact time. And when I looked at their table, I noticed that there was still some food on their plates, that there were drinks half finished, and that there was even a girl's jacket left hanging on the back of one of the chairs. And the server wasn't coming over to the table to start cleaning up the plates or anything. Everything was left just as is. And so I didn't know what was going on. Where did they all go? Are they all going to the bathroom together in one giant group? That seems very strange. Maybe there's a bar in the restaurant that I didn't notice and they were all going to the bar to get some drinks or some shots together. I couldn't figure it out. And then they all, after about 10 minutes, came back in and all sat down together and finished enjoying the rest of their meals and time together. Honestly, guys, I saw this so many times.
Where y'all going? Well, my head's still trying. Where'd y'all go? Y'all go on a quick 10-minute walk or? Germans, where y'all be going in the middle of a meal? The whole group to get up and that, yeah. I need an explanation. I need to be able to understand
and
this.
Time together. Honestly, guys, I saw this so many times before I finally understood that the reason why this was happening is because they are walking outside and having a smoke break. I have never in my life seen this happen before moving to Germany. And it really surprises me. Not only because people are interrupting their meal to go and have a cigarette, but also because I just can't believe how many Germans are still smoking. In the US, of course, we have smokers. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like we don't. We do have smokers. But I would say that it's just not really socially accepted anymore. And of course, I've seen people in the US walk outside of a bar or a nightclub to have a smoke break, but never. I cannot imagine people leaving their dinner at a restaurant to walk outside, smoke, and then come back. I can't imagine it. This was truly shocking to me. Number 3 is how much more...
But I think from videos that I've seen is that when like groups of people in Germany get together and eat, they're at like a restaurant for like a couple hours. Know what I'm saying? And so here in America, we're definitely not staying for a couple of hours. Depending on when we get our food, we're talking about 30, 45 minutes, I feel like. So we're not sitting there socializing for that long. And so I guess if they cut their food down like 30, 45 minutes, they probably would need to take a smoke break. But still, I'm still in the same boat with her, even though I say that, like, I can't fathom, like, in the middle of dinner, like, the whole group getting up, going out to take a smoke break, like, 10 minutes, come back in, finish their meal. That's mind blowing.
I can't imagine it. This was truly shocking to me. Number 3 is how much more popular Android phones are compared to iPhones. Whenever I first started making friends in Germany and we would exchange numbers, they would inevitably ask me, hey, what's your WhatsApp? WhatsApp, of course, referring to the text messaging application. And I, at first, didn't think too much about this. I just assumed that people preferred WhatsApp because it claims to have end-to-end encryption and it has some other benefits to it. But what I didn't realize is that the preference for WhatsApp is largely predicated on the fact that Android phones are so much more popular than iPhones in Germany. To give you an idea, as of September 2018, iPhone sales in Germany flopped at 16%, whereas Android sales soared at 83%. That is a huge difference. And in the US, those numbers are a lot closer to 50-50. Although I will say that it feels as though the overwhelming majority of people in the US own iPhones.
That's definitely, that's definitely facts. I'm team Android. I'll never betray Team Android. I knew I had a little Germany. I knew there was a little German somewhere in me. You know what I'm saying? Team Android, where it's at. They're better phones, right, Germany? They're better phones. Why WhatsApp? Why not just the text messaging app that comes with the Android phone? I'm intrigued to know like why WhatsApp. Everybody downloads that app to message each other. But yeah, it feels overwhelmingly iPhone. But 83 to 16%. Yeah, Germany is all Android.
The overwhelming majority of people in the US own iPhones. There are even entire jokes in the US referencing iPhones as being the better or elite phone. I've seen so many tweets or memes making fun of Androids, and I've seen screenshots of conversations like this one where someone gets a text from an Android on their iPhone, which means the text shows up in green, and then the Android user gets promptly ridiculed. There are a couple of reasons why I think that Germans are more apt to use Androids over iPhones, but the primary reason I think is because iPhones are just way too dang expensive, and Germans tend to be a bit more frugal, and they just don't really care about luxury items. But this was strange for me as an American who's owned an iPhone for, I don't know, over 8 years, and everyone I text with in the US has an iPhone too, and then to go to Germany and have the complete opposite experience where pretty much everyone that I texted with has an Android. Number 4 is having to go inside to the gas station to pay for gas. The whole time that I've been driving in the US, I've always been able to pay for my gas at the pump. So to move to a modern country like Germany and find myself having to go into the gas station to pay for my gas, I was really shocked by this. If you're German and you're watching this and you've never pumped gas in the US, then I will tell you that most gas stations in the US will have a card reader and PIN pad right at the pump ready for you to be able to pay for your gas with your card. And there will even sometimes be television screens playing advertisements while you pump your gas. It isn't just the Germans who appreciate efficiency, Americans appreciate it too, and being able to pay at the pump is far more efficient than having to go inside. And with the amount of miles we commute and the long road trips we have, most people want to expedite their stop at a gas station as much as possible. I don't exactly know why in Germany you don't have the ability to pay for gas at the pump. I have the reasonable assumption that it has something to do with the cash is king culture in Germany, which requires a customer to cashier transaction, and then it might also have to do with the fact that gas stations in Germany sell gas as close to the market value as possible, so the profit margin for gas is much lower, and therefore to make any money the gas station needs customers to come inside and pay for products because that's the only way they make any revenue. Number 5 is swearing.
That would make sense as to why you would have to go in. Yeah, I don't understand that either. For me, it just seems easier to pay at the pump just because you put your card in, put your everything in. You don't got to, because in case there's a lot of people getting gas at the same time, right, you don't have to go inside, wait in the line. I know you pump your gas in Germany, then you go pay for whatever you pump, however much you pump for. But you gotta, if there's a line in there, that's frustrating. But I can understand it making sense. Like, I guess they made less profit on gas for them to try to want to sell products to the customers, so get the customers inside of the store. I do understand that, but yeah, I don't know. Paying at the pump just seems more efficient. Roll into the pump, put your card in, pump your gas, put the gas pump up, and take off. You don't got to talk to nobody. Don't got to go into no stores, hand anything to anybody. But different cultures.
Products because that's the only way they make any revenue. Number 5 is swearing on the radio. So I was in my car in Germany, beep-bopping along to my radio.
Do you want a coffee?
Yeah, I'll take a coffee. Thanks, Ben.
So nice. So nice.
And the song by Iman came on. Now, I'm going to have to bleep out a lot of what I'm about to say, so just know that every time you hear a bleep, it's me saying the word f***. This song by Iman called F*** It, I Don't Want You Back came out in 2004 or 2005.
Love that song. Great breakup song. Great song to hear after a breakup.
Called F*** It, I Don't Want You Back came out in 2004 or 2005, and it is riddled with the word f***. In fact, he
Yes.
says the word 22 fucking times. And when you hear this song playing on the radio in the US, you're hearing the radio edit version, meaning they've censored out every time he sings the word. But in Germany, there is no radio edit version. They just play the original version. And it was really shocking for me to hear the word on the radio like that. I've always been aware of the fact that censorship of words and nudity in Germany is a lot more lax than what it is in the US. And I obviously have no problem with cursing myself, but it was still really shocking to encounter this. And I think that this topic deserves way more attention than what I'm able to give it in this video, but I find it really interesting, as I believe many people do, to talk about the somewhat contradictory nature of censorship in US media. For example, we have TV shows with very repulsive plot themes and movies with extremely violent scenes that will play on TV without any sort of censorship, and yet certain swear words have to be bleeped out. In fact, I've even seen shows where they bleep out swear words said in other languages, where the majority of the audience wouldn't even know what they're saying. And then to go to Munich, Germany and see some signs with the word written right on them out in public without anybody batting an eye, it was just such a huge dichotomy in culture. So experiencing what Germany does, or in this case doesn't censor out, was really shocking for me to learn coming from the US. Number 6 is...
I absolutely love that, Germany. Germany said F. See, I don't even cuss, but then YouTube, it would demonetize the video if I did anyway. But I usually don't even cuss. But yeah, Germany just said F it. F it. We lax about it. We ain't finna try to hide you from all these curse words. We ain't finna try to censor them. We ain't doing that. Know what I'm saying? Listen to these words. Look at these words. I like that.
Censor out was really shocking for me to learn coming from the US. Number 6 is Germans knowing US American songs better than me. And this one's just funny.
Really?
So there was an Irish bar in Mainz that I loved going to. It was creatively named Irish Pub. And on Friday nights, they would play, I think it was Friday nights, they would play live music. And it was always such a blast for me because everyone would kind of pack into this small room and everyone would be dancing and singing along to the band. And sometimes the band would play American music. They would play classics or they would play more recent pop songs, and I swear everyone in the room, regardless of the song, would be singing every single word of every single song, and this was just shocking to me. I think the first time I saw it, I just had this sudden realization of just how much US pop culture is propagated outside of the US. And some of you guys may know that I lived in Turkey before I ever moved to Germany, and sure, there were sometimes music videos playing on the TV screens in some bars, or there would be some American music playing in some of the restaurants or bars, but really not that much. And then traveling around to all of the countries I've been to, I would see some indications of American pop culture, or at least the influence of it. But I guess I just didn't think that Germans, or people from any country for that matter, would be listening to American music over the music of their own country, or at least to the point where they know every single word to every single American song. This was really shocking to me. And now a word from our sponsor.
Hey guys, I'm Misha. I'm playing the part of German boyfriend, and I'm a video game creator, developer.
Start over.
No.
Yeah.
I'm creating a game for Windows called Run for Cover that is about...
We're gonna skip the sponsor, guys. We're gonna skip the sponsor. I love that, though.
And number 7, the last culture shock that I'm going to talk to you guys about is brothels. Brothels are completely legal in Germany, and in the US they are not, with some small exceptions in Nevada. There's a brothel right by the
Really?
main train station in Mainz that I must have walked by over 100 times when I was living there before I learned what it was, because I didn't realize that a building having red lights was an indicator for it being a brothel. Of course, I had heard of the red light district in Amsterdam and I understood what that meant, but I didn't realize how on the nose the nickname for that district was. And it's not just seeing the brothel that was so shocking for me, but also learning more about the culture of it and understanding how and why it's legal. I don't want to get into all of that right now, but I think coming from the US, where I think we collectively as a society really grapple with the idea of seeing sex as a normal, healthy part of life rather than something that's forbidden, or at least that we shouldn't talk about, seeing this part of German culture was really shocking for me. Alright guys, that's all I've got for you today. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you guys be a part of my family. Thank you so much to my patrons. You guys are awesome for the support you've given me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!
I love that video. She seems really awesome. Brothels, I feel like they would be a good idea. I feel like there's a lot of great that could come out of brothels. I feel like Germany's got that one right. But that's all we got for this one. You guys got a favorite video suggestion, you can subscribe to Patreon or drop it in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Social media and Patreon are all up top. You can subscribe to any of it. Put all the links down in the description. All you gotta do is hit the link, follow me, talk to me. Love talking to you guys. You guys are the most incredible team on YouTube. It's your boy Neal. Out.